Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft Redstone video. And this is going to be the tutorial for my infinitely stackable vertical piston extender. And this design here that I'm going to show you how to build, it's a little bit different than the one in my showcase video. It's a bit more compact, a little bit faster, got rid of some extra piston movements, and I also color coded it to make it more easy to understand. And so yeah, let's get started at building it. So the first thing you want to do is knock down your pistons, and I'm going to use 20 pistons for just for demonstration purposes, but I'm also going to tell you how to build it with more than 20 pistons. So let's get started. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pistons, and then we might as well just knock out these walls. It doesn't matter exactly how tall they are, just as long as yeah. Anyways, so like that. We can fix this something later if they're too short. Okay, and then let's build the extending circuit. So basically, just like any other piston extender, you want to power every other block. So basically, repeat this, and then to give them power in the correct order, you want to build this up. So dust here and here, and then one tick on that repeater. Okay, and then let's stack that up. So I'm going to select this block here, and this block here. By the way, I'm using World Edit, which is a great mod for Minecraft, which allows you to do things like what I'm doing right now. And yeah, so you can basically stack them up like that, your selection. So from experience, I know that you'll have to stack this. Stack this 9 times up when you're using 20 pistons. And yeah, and let's just finish up these walls here. Like that. Okay, but we're not done with the extension circuit, because what's going to happen now is it's first going to go here, then one tick later it's going to go into the second block, but then nothing more is going to happen. By the way, this is your input, and so we'll have to add the transistors between this first and the second and the second and the third and so on. So you're going to build it like this, basically one block out, then one block up, and two blocks out here. Then you can connect these up and have 2 ticks on this repeater here. And yeah, so all this might seem a little bit unnecessary, but trust me, I will show you why in a bit. So let's stack that up as well. Let's see if I'm able to make the correct selection area and stack that. And yeah, so now, before we give it a test, you want to go and find the top piston and set a marker there. And I'll come to why when we're making the retracting. Okay, so let's get out the button. And now the problem is that when we press this button, these bottom pistons are not going to do anything, and that's because they can't push more than 12 blocks. And so, let me show you, and it starts on the middle there. Now, the solution is to simply press the button again, and it's going to extend all the way up to the top. However, well, you might say you could just hook this up to a clock, or I mean a pulsar like this, and it will first send in a pulse and then another one. Now that's true, but because we are working with something that's stackable, infinitely stackable, we want to be able to make this with like 100 pistons, like I did in the showcase video. And so we need a way for it to determine how many pulses it has to send in. And that's actually very easy. Let me show you how. So this is the input, and basically you want to make a bud switch here, and the way that works is when this bottom piston here updates, this piston here is going to fire and it's going to let out a pulse, or it's actually going to cut the pulse here, like that, and that's going to stop the clock that we have here. So it's all going to make sense in just a second, just wait. And this is the clock. You have 4 ticks, 4 ticks, 1 tick, 3 ticks, 3 ticks. And it might seem very weird with those exact timings, but that's just how it is. That's how it works. Okay, let's go ahead and hook up a monostable circuit. We're just going to send a 2-tick pulse into the clock and start the clock. So now, actually we have to finish up this bud switch here, which stands for block up to detector. I'll just do that 1 tick down there, just like that. So if you don't know, basically whenever you have a piston that's powered on the diagonal, which we have here, then it is in fact powered, but it's only gonna extend once you update it. And so this is basically a device that's going to cut the power when it updates, and so it's going to send out a pulse when this piston here updates in the back. And that's going to, as you can see here, stop the clock. So if we now send in a pulse here, it's going to start the clock, and the device is going to actually recognize that it doesn't need more pulses than this one, and it's going to stop the clock. So it's a great little device there. But now let's make the retracting. So you want to go to the top and find the sucking piston, and you want to put a repeater going into that. Now, you want to build out in this pattern here and put a 2-tick delay repeater like that. So now we can stack this down using Edit again. So as you can see, that works just like that. But from experience, I know that you'll have to stack it 17 times down. 17 times down, just like that. And then the last one I'm going to build by hand, just because I do not want the wall to be sitting down on the ground. I want the grass as it is. Okay, now let's make the other half of the retraction thing. Basically, I'm going to put out blocks like this, 2 solid blocks, then a block of glowstone, and then another solid block. And you want to put redstone, and then 2 ticks of delay. And you just want to block that off, like so, because it is automatically going to be blocked off here. And then let's stack that down. Position 1. By the way, if you don't know how to use Edit, you can just find a tutorial. There are plenty of tutorials out there. Okay, let's see if we can spell that right. And with 20 pistons, you have to use 18. You have to stack it 18 times down. And yeah, so now it goes all the way down to the ground. Now let me tell you what this here does. Basically, what it's going to do is first, this is the input here, is that it's going to send a pulse into this position here, but there's no piston there. That's just, that's going to come in later. But then, 2 ticks after that, or actually 1 tick, because 2 ticks, and then 2 ticks plus 1 tick equals 3 ticks. So 1 tick after this position gets power, this one is going to get power. Then, since glowstone is a transparency block, it's going to go through that down here, and in here. And so 2 plus 2 is 4 ticks. So that's 2, 3, 4, and then 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5 ticks. And basically it goes down 1 block per tick. So, if we now go ahead and power it, can see that it moved the pistons one step down. Let's do that again, and you can see that it slowly moves its way down. But we want to make that automatic, so let's just go ahead and extend it again. So I'm going to put redstone dust on here, and then you're going to put blocks like that with redstone dust on top, and a block there which cuts that off. And basically what I'm doing right now is I'm hooking up a clock that's going to automatically send down pulses here and retract it. And we want a piston here that's going to remove this block whenever we press the retract button and let the pulses from the clock through, and it's going to start retracting. So let's build all the circuitry. Yeah, so let's see here. Here I'm building a monostable circuit that's going to send in a pulse to the clock, and the reason for that is basically whenever you could technically just stop the clock manually. If we just had it, you could technically start the clock manually, like that. However, the thing is that whenever you log back into your world, if you log out and then log back in, then clocks tend to be full of power, and we don't want that, so we have to make this whole extra thing to prevent that from happening. So basically what this is whenever you send a power in here, it's first going to cut the previous the previous kind of loop and then send in a new pulse. So if you log back into the world, it might look something like this, where the clock is full of power, but whenever you send in a button pulse, you can see that it starts right back up. Okay, so now we need to wire up this piston here. So in order to do that, you want a 1-tick repeater coming from here, going into a torch, and you want a 3-tick delay repeater going into a piece of dust, and you want to wire that right up to the piston. It doesn't really matter how, and yeah, just like that. So now whenever we press the button, I should place that up here, this clock is going to start and this block is going to lift up.